Yo, what's up guys? It's C-Jax back with another video, and today I am going to be talking about how I think the Flash movie should reboot the DCEU. Now, me personally, I think the DC reboot is complete nonsense, considering the fact that we already have great actors and actresses to play these roles like Gal Gadot Wonder Woman, Henry Cavill Superman, you get the point, Ben Affleck Batman, whatever. But James Gunn is going in a completely new direction, which I don't understand. The Snyder Cut was the perfect movie to build your universe off of. You introduce key characters like Flash, Cyborg, Aquaman, and then you develop the Trinity very well in that movie as well. It's the perfect build-off movie to the universe. And we can get even newer characters like Martian Manhunter we saw at the end of the movie, and we can get plenty others. And it doesn't have to be Zack Snyder. Bring in different directors, different writers to handle these great characters and just keep on fleshing them up over the years. But no, we're going to reboot and wait 3 years for Superman Legacy, even though we have a Superman Henry Cavill who's already ready to go. Thanks, James Gunn. You're a great guy. You're not. Anyways, we're going to talk about how the Flash movie should go about rebooting the DCEU. So as we all know, the Flash movie is going to derive elements from the Flashpoint comic and also the Flashpoint Paradox animated film. And one of the biggest elements, or the biggest element, is that Barry's going to go back in time and try and stop his mom from dying. But while doing that, it's going to mess up the timeline and mess up the multiverse, and it's going to undo certain things and do other things. Like we saw in the Flashpoint Paradox movie, we had an older Batman that wasn't even Bruce Wayne, it was Thomas Wayne, because Bruce died in that reality. And we also had Superman locked up in a government cell instead of being out there and saving everyone like we know him to be doing. Now, in this movie, judging off the trailers, it looks like the changes are going to be this new universe has no metahumans. It also doesn't have Superman. It has Supergirl. And Michael Keaton is the main Batman for this universe instead of Ben Affleck. And there's probably a lot of other changes that they'll mention throughout the movie. But just like in the Flashpoint comic, Barry is probably going to realize that he can't have this timeline where his mom lives because it causes too many negative effects. And he's going to have to go back in time and set up a new timeline to undo the errors that he created. And this new timeline that he creates will be the DCU. And while Barry is going back into Speed Force and creating this new timeline, I think it would be really awesome if we could see different flashbacks or shots from various previous DC movies like Man of Steel or the Snyder Cut or Aquaman or Wonder Woman 1, etc. All the movies that DC is not going to be bringing into the new continuity, I think we should get flashbacks or shots from those while Barry's in the Speed Force. And while all of this is going down, you could play the theme that played in the Snyder Cut in which Barry was rewinding time to save the Justice League. It will be a nice little nod to that movie, and overall this sequence would be a great nod to what has happened previously in the DCEU and a nice little send-off to everything that has gone down. And the funny thing is that Henry Cavill actually shot a cameo of being in the Speed Force and talking to Ezra Miller's Flash. Now, I don't know if they're going to keep this cameo because of the reboot, but I think this cameo could be in that Speed Force that I just mentioned when he's going back in time and maybe he sees Cavill Superman from a different movie. You never know. Now, once Barry comes back to the brand new whatever timeline it is, the new DCU timeline, then we'll have all of these changes and it'll make sense because we saw an older Batman in Flashpoint Paradox. We had one in the movie with Keaton. We can see maybe a younger Batman and a younger Superman, and that's where those recasts come in with a Batman getting recasted and then Henry Cavill getting recasted and whoever else. Those little changes like that would start to make sense because of the stuff they built in the movie and because of the scene and the sequence that we had just seen. And then by the end of this movie, you have your new DCU timeline with all the characters there that you want, at least, or that James Gunn wants or whatever, and you have all the movies in that continuity that you want as well. And also another thing is that since you didn't fully erase or delete the DCEU timeline, all you would have to do basically is move that to maybe an Elseworlds project. We know James Gunn is using the Reeves Batman universe and the Joker universe as Elseworlds. You can make the DCEU Elseworlds as well. And an interesting thing about this is that this movie was originally going to set up Crisis on Infinite Earths in live action for the DCEU. And one of the post-credit scenes for this movie was going to be Ben Affleck calling back to Barry on a distress monitor saying that he's stuck in another reality and that Barry has to go get him. And so this is why this is smart, because you can section off the DCEU and have characters like Batfleck, Cavill, Superman, whoever still exist, but they're not in the new DCU timeline. They're in the DCEU timeline. And so you can use the DCEU to make some Elseworlds movies or some Elseworlds show and make some money. I mean, people love these actors and love these characters, and some of us like me really love these movies. So I don't know why you wouldn't just use that to make extra money. And on top of that, Warner Bros. Is in debt by billions of dollars, so I'm sure they're going to need that money. So yes, do I think that the DCEU reboot plan from James Gunn is ridiculous, obviously. However, if they're going to go down this gun plan route, then you know what, man? It is what it is, bro. And it doesn't mean we can't see these DCEU character portrayals or anything like that down the line in an Elseworlds or in something else, because you never know. I mean, some of these characters from the DCEU are going to carry over into the new DCU. Probably, you know, the Suicide Squad characters and, you know, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman might. Who knows, man? So it's not the end. It's just a brand new beginning. Trying to tell myself that so I don't freak out. But that's basically what they're going to do, so I guess we just have to deal with it as fans. So guys, that is going to wrap it up for this video. Let me know what you think the Flash movie should do in order to reboot the DCEU, or how would you want it to happen. Feel free to let me know that down in the comment section below. And as always, I hope you guys have a phenomenal day. Peace out.